Well, hello, chat. Oh, I like that. It's gravy time. How are you doing, chat?
Wow.
In my ear twice.
There is all kinds of stuff going on there.
Ooh. Fix that. Can you hear us, friends? Hey, it is. Nice music sound. Thank you. Desmarius. Look who's here. We've got Duke is in the chat. Always good to see you, friend. Tempo's here, ready and waiting. David Bullock, of course, says it's gravy time. You know, Moonbeam, I'm not sure exactly what's cooking with that, but I also don't have the tech bandwidth this moment to worry about it. We had a little pre-event thing that we needed to put some stuff together for, because, you know, today we're talking about the Expanse Transport Union Edition updates. And we're doing so with a good friend of ours. Okay, now it sounds fine again. Okay, did it sound bad? You can hear me and the music. Excellent. That's great. Cool, thank you. Yeah, you got a little weird there for a minute. But what you wanna see weird? Hey, Brian F. Irving says good evening. The F stands for friendship, which is excellent. Speaking of friendship, look who I brought. Hiding behind this shield, it's your favorite pal. It's Ian Lemke. Look at you.
Sorry. I thought this was a dance party. I'm sorry.
It is. It always is. Absolutely.
Excellent.
There we go. We've turned that music off and down. Some weird ducking going on. Yeah, a lot of ducking. We get ducked on the regular basis. Ian.
Yes.
It's been ages since you've been
on. It has been.
I'm cracking myself up.
Yeah.
Good to have you on. There's of course been a lot going on, which of course is also the reason why you haven't been able to hang out with us, because there's just so much happening. And so what have you been up to?
Nothing. I've just been hanging out, chilling with I've been working on the Expanse a little bit.
A little bit.
It's been a busy some number of months. But it's going well, and I'm super excited about every aspect of it. So I guess we're here to talk about some things.
We are indeed. We got art to show in a segment I wanted to call "Who Arted," but everyone vetoed that.
I didn't.
Oh, you like
hear that?
Who arted? That. You like that?
Yeah, I'm into that.
Sure. Well, then it is Who Arted. Anyway, I also want to shout out to Space Coast Adventurers Guild. You know, I'm so glad that they're here. They are a group of people that they're in Florida, and they run, it's like a TTRPG. It's everything. It's like events, it's a community, it's people looking for group, it's real life, round the table events that they run. So great. Now, I don't think that they can, but they had written to us, and I got to listen to kind of all the things that they're doing. It's incredible. So it's good to see you here, Space Coast Adventurers Guild. And I'm going to, I'm going to find the link to your Patreon so I can drop a link and let folks know all about you. Because when as I got to know them and learned all about the great stuff that they're doing, I became just a super fan. I was like, something finally in Florida.
Yeah. No, I'm going to have to check them out. I didn't
very cool. Very cool. Oh, nice. Excellent. Thank you. They say that. Yay. Okay, so back to Who Arted. So I love the art process personally. when it comes to development, in your experience, how does art kind of weave in and out of the experience, starting at starting at the very beginning?
Well, I mean, obviously, it sort of depends on what book what kind of book you're working on. But with the Expanse, obviously, I just get inspiration from seeing many things. Like all the different art. I love looking at people's fan art and things like that, and often, just art to me feeds the creativity. It feeds the mind, and you see something, and I think that's one of the reasons that art is so important in role-playing game books, because there's some people say, oh, all the space goes to art, but each of these images, and when writing descriptions for art, it's something I very much try to have in mind, is like, is this going to give a game master an idea or a player an idea? Or do you want to step into that scene for some reason, or and find out what more is going on? So yeah.
Okay. I have a showstopper of a question that I never thought about until just now. Tempo asks, I guess, you're the resident person who might know this.
Pets, birds, cats, dogs. Is that what you're asking about?
Yeah, in the Expanse, do people keep pets like birds, cats, or dogs, especially in space?
They were featured in the spoiler. So close your ears for 3 minutes if there's because this is like final books. The Rossi actually has a pet dog on board at the very end.
I see.
It wears a diaper, and it has learned to float around. Way around. It's sort of Amos's pet dog. And on series, I don't know if it's a real bird or a clone bird, but I know there was a bird at one point that, and it talked about like how the gravity, in the lower gravity, the birds just sort of float, and that sort of thing. So I imagine they do. I mean, I think in early space travel, that's not going to be much of a thing. But if people are living in space, I think they're gonna take pets with them. Yeah, almost certainly.
Yeah, right. You'd imagine, unless there's just something really detrimental or something about zero G,
right?
Whatever.
But on a station, they'd probably be fine. Microgravity, is probably not going to be great for animals for long term, but great for people.
Yeah, I bet Michael in chat mentions that there's the dust from cats digging around in the litter. I bet you they have all kinds of weird concerns, pet dander and the whole thing. Yeah.
Well, like I said, they specifically talk about the dog wearing a diaper on the roster.
Yes, sure,
because,
absolutely.
You don't want mess, especially if you're on the float.
Hey, I wanted yeah, exactly. Right. Oh yeah, could you imagine just a cat just freewheeling with claws, just upset and looking for something to hang on to? And they choose your face, and
fish in the hydroponics. That is actually not only would be entertainment for people, but pets, but also that is they're super fish and hydroponics go hand in hand. I mean,
fin and fin, if you will.
Well, fin and leaf.
Fin and leaf, right. Fin and root. Yeah. There we go.
But, I like it. Because if you know anything about fish and hydroponics, that you put the fish in there, and the fish waste actually fertilizes the plants, and then you can eat the fish too. So it's sort of a twofer.
Nice.
You're fertilizing your plants, and you're also getting to eat them.
That's right. So your food is fertilizing your food, and there you go. I love it. Yeah. Let's see. I want to see Donald Duck would have to wear pants finally. We need to do, I suppose. Yes. So I have a quick shout out to Claude. I see you. Curly and Saint Guys here. Good to see you, friend. We just talked with Michael in chat about the kitty litter and Devious. There you are. I saw you in here with your civilian name, and I was like, "Who's that?" That ain't the Devious I know. Shadowcat. Good to see you. Good to see you. Very good to see you. And Tempo says a flying furry beast in someone's face. Yeah. So a good escape, I guess. I imagine if you're running from somebody in sort of light gravity, you throw a cat at them and keep running. Put that in your adventure for future times, friends. When you're running the Expanse, you could have a feral
cat in microgravity.
Yeah, exactly.
Forget vomit zombies. Throw cats.
Yeah, throw cats. Exactly. Fastball special. Okay, so we've got some things to share and show. Do you want to talk any more a little bit about sort of the process, or should we just dive right into the?
Well, why don't we dive in and I can sort of talk about process. I mean, I can talk about process of how I go about art or how we go about art, I should say, because I'm only a small part of that.
My whole thing is I love to create excruciating anticipation for folks. Like it's my way of kind of giving them the business, but we can go right to art if we'd like.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
You're a kind man.
I mean, yeah, however you want to go.
Who'd have thunk it, huh? I love this. Yeah. Troy, unexpected expert in pantsless cartoon characters. Porky Pig.
Porky Pig.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, yes. Well, let's hop here. Boop.
That's the thing we were looking for.
Yeah.
That's the final cover.
Final cover. Looking good. Let me drop this UI real fast just so we can get a big old look at it. Looking pretty. I like it.
So the cover, as you can see, is very reminiscent of the original edition. It's being a triptych, and when thinking about that, I wanted to keep it. I wanted to have the familiarity that it feels, because for a number of reasons, but partly because this is, it's the Expanse expanded. It's not. We're not doing really a full new edition, but we have a lot of new, and we're moving forward with this edition.
Yeah, I like
we have a lot of new stuff. The core rules themselves, as I think most people know at this point, we're not changing those. We made some tweaks here and there, but nothing. If you've been playing for since or for however many years, you're not going to have any problems, jumping from one to the other than having access to a whole bunch of new stuff. But so I kind of wanted to keep it the same for that reason, to sort of get that feeling of continuity, and also bring in the future. So like on the, I guess if you're facing the screen, left-hand side, on the original edition, you had Ava Sorala addressing the UN. In this case, we have Michio Pa addressing the transport union.
Mm-hmm.
In the the center one was, what is it? I'm trying to remember. Yes, Bobbie. In the slow zone, or about to enter the slow zone, and in this one you have a void ship, going through a ring, and finally on the right you had Martian Marines on Mars, which Mars was the only one of the few planets where people walk on the surface, in the early novels. But at this point they're exploring all kinds of strange new worlds in the 1300 worlds beyond the ring. So these are some explorers out there checking out some builder ruins. So yeah, that was sort of the thought process behind that.
It looks great.
I am so happy with how it came out. Let me tell you.
Yeah, we've got some great reaction as well. People are really enjoying it. Yeah, it's very, very beautiful. It's pretty, and it's it's evocative.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And how did some nice work, just even with the borders and all that, and the colors and everything. We changed it up a little bit for this edition, but I just think it overall looks great.
Love it. And I think, what did I do? Did I close my window? I did indeed. Okay. So Matthew Tyler says, is it just me, or does the obelisk in the art on the right look like the second marker from the Dead Space franchise? I think that there's a certain kind of like thing, big space object that kind of resonates. And what is this big space object?
What is it?
Yeah,
it's supposed to. It's builder ruins. The people who built the species that built the ring gates.
Yeah,
it's ruins of their previous civilization.
Yeah. Okay. This is a great question. Michael in chat asks, for those of us who haven't been fortunate enough to read the books and have only watched the series, is there guidance and entrance points of continuity, things that they should know?
Well, first off, this book, if you haven't played The Expanse before and you want to pick it up, everything from the series is covered in here. And in fact, I mean, the series goes all the way up through the Free Navy conflict. So, I mean, most of it's in here, and Michio Pa is appointed, the head of the transport union at the end of those novels, and at the end of the series. Well, it wasn't Michio Pa in the series; it's Drummer, because they combined the Michio Pa and Drummer characters in the series, which made a lot of sense for the series. But since we're based on the novels, we're going with Michio Pa. I mean, I don't think you'd have any problems if you haven't read the novels. I think, as most people know, the show was pretty faithful to the novels, and any changes they made, a lot of things were just in order of things happening, and just changes needed to be made for television. In most cases, there were improvements, I felt. Now you're just making up words. Is that me? It might be.
No, I think they're talking to tempo. They're talking to tempo, not you.
Yeah. So yeah, if you have only seen the series, you wouldn't have any problem. But you will get spoilers. I will, somewhat. Some spoilers, though not a lot, honestly, because most of the colony stuff is already happening by the end of the series. So, and remember that there between the end of the Free Navy book 7 and book 8, there's a 30-year jump.
That's
we do not right, and which really starts with the Laconians invading, and we do not get into that in this book. The actual Laconian invasion and all that, because personally I feel that warrants its own book,
sort of next phase, right?
Next phase, right. Exactly. So you really shouldn't have any problems at all if you've only
I've got another question for you. The Shadowcat asks, Ian, has anyone thought about a spy class for the second edition of the Expanse? I've been waiting ages to ask that question.
They have.
There you go, friend. The answer is yes.
I can't promise you're going to see it right away, but that will be out there at some point.
Creative juices are flowing, and that's a consideration for the future.
Though I will say there is some stuff in the Transport Union edition that would be super helpful for a spy character, like kind of targeted at that.
That's right.
Some focus. I mean, some talents and such. We added a few talents, and at least I think 2 of them that I can think of off the top of my head would be super handy for a spy. So
exactly. Fun. Okay, great. Also, pineapple is a primordial sound, but if it's on pizza, it's just garbage at that point.
Hey, we have to agree to disagree on that one.
We will agree with me.
Now, if I'm having real good, New York style, a pizza, then I don't want any pineapple near it. But if it's just kind of crappy Domino's or something, anyway, I do like pineapple.
I think for me, it's about the way it's prepared. It's you've got to take the fresh pineapple and chop it up real nice, and those little pineapple bits, and then you scoop it up and then just dump it in the garbage.
I know.
There's your pizza.
People are gonna be mad at me now. It's a controversial thing.
I don't even know. I think I'm looking at the vocal folks in the chat, and it might be me.
It might be.
I am permitted to be wrong. Yes. Listen. Let's ease tensions. Let's take a deep breath, and let's move into more peaceful waters, and take a look at some more art. In a segment I like to call Who Arted? Ooh, look at you. You're real tiny and behind the logo.
Am I there even? Where am I? Okay. Oh, there I am. Hello.
Yeah, there you go.
This is one of my favorite new pieces, honestly. It's great. I just love that shot. Exactly as I described it. I just wanted that feeling of stepping on an airlock above Jupiter, it just
I love that.
Sorry about that.
the space music starts to play. My question for you, Ian, is: are you, by and large, it must be you must be taken aback by how close artists get to the thing that's in your head when you ask for it? Is it
Yes, that
surprising?
is it. Well, I mean, it varies. You know,
Yeah, right.
sometimes I feel like I describe. Okay, this would be a good moment to get into the art process a
Yeah,
little bit
please.
and the way we do it. I can't say this is the same. I know it's not the same for everybody because I've worked with other companies that do it very differently.
Yeah.
But I actually really love Hal is awesome. And really gives the developers a lot of a lot of input into the art. And he sort of decides where in the book we're going to need art and those kind of things and such. But I actually go through then and look at where the art's going to be and just and give a as detailed description as I can of what what I'd like to see the art be there. And then then sometimes Hal's like, well, what about this? And, we'll go back and forth sometimes, but 80-90% of it sort of just goes off to the artist as I wrote it. I'm sure Hal touches it up a little bit. And I do, and I give other pieces of art and such that you can't use this, but use this for inspiration, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But where were we going with that? I just got distracted.
Oh, I just the process of you sort of in your brain, you have this vision, and then suddenly art pops out. Like that.
Yes.
That's kind of amazing.
And we get just like writing, we get the first drafts in, and different artists are very different. Some of them submit stuff for their first round that's like almost complete, and some of them are just sketches. And and I'll go over them and either give it a thumbs up or thumbs down, or we usually, if it's a thumbs down, this is why, these are the things that need to be changed. And I will say the Expanse is probably one of the most difficult of for art that I've ever done for a game.
Really?
And having to look it over. Well, yeah, because gravity is different. There's so many little things that I have to look at and see, is this accurate? Is this how it should look? If it's supposed to be microgravity, or are people's hair floating, or anything that's unattached, is it floating? That kind of thing.
Do you also we had a lot about the kind of character that it is and where they might be in the are they a belter and what
sure
and like and
do they actually look like a belter? I mean, there's been a lot of that's taken. I really think in this edition we go a lot better with having the belters look like belters. The tall, skinny, long necks, eggheads, that kind of thing. So I'm happy with that. We definitely moved more into that, really making the people look different. But like a really silly one that I had was it was some people sitting around, and there's one of the characters, and it's supposed to be in microgravity. She's taking off her boots, and the boots are on the floor beside her. I was like, well, okay, but then we got to have the lights on the mag boots to show that because otherwise they wouldn't just lay there, So she left them on, and they're stuck to the floor. Yeah, just dumb stuff like that.
Well, that's clever. I mean, that's
time.
It's fun to hear that too, because when you look at a piece, you have the idea in your mind of what you want to see, and then you get it back, kind of look at it and say, hey, we might want to fix this here, or this needs to be a little floaty, and that needs to be a little, that's great. That's really interesting. Now, so Michael in chat says that it's so closely honed to hard sci-fi that it can be quite limiting. Do you find hard sci-fi or science fiction as it is presented in The Expanse to be limiting, or is it
no? I actually find it the opposite. And what's his name? Gilroy, the guy who was the showrunner for Andor. I listened to an interview with him recently. I was like, that's exactly it. And he talked about how doing Andor was very constrained because you have a beginning point and you got an end point, and you have a hard end point. And you've got to get the characters to that point. And some people might feel that that's very constraining. You're
on rails
limited,
or something. Yeah.
Right. But for him, he said, knowing these things already sort of gave him the freedom to do whatever he wants in between. And that's what that's how I feel about it. It's like having these constraints actually helps guide what you can do.
Right.
And sometimes, you can come up with things to bounce off of those constraints, sort of, break, not necessarily break the mold, but maybe bend the mold a little bit here and there. So I actually like that. I like working. I actually like working on IP properties and having I don't mind having those limitations.
Yeah,
That's me.
what maybe, and I hear you. Yeah, Michael mentions. Otherwise, I love limitations and creativity. Yeah, because I think it's more of a very clearly defined space, that you get to kind of
Right.
operate in, and that makes it easier to kind of pick and choose and sort of understand. So,
Yep.
did you, I hate to ask this live, but have you ever had something sneak through that you're like, oh no, that's
Oh,
person, like,
yes.
yeah, yeah.
Of course.
Anything you
I
can
mean,
tell us, or is it sort of a
I can't think of anything off the top
right,
of my
right,
head,
right,
honestly.
right.
But I know there have been times when, after something's published, I'm like, oh, I'm
Sure,
sure someone in chat can point to one of them for me.
Yeah. Well, I'm not asking you, chat. But okay, well, great. Well, let's flip to the next one. Ready?
All right.
Okay, what's going on here?
They're actually asteroid miners. They're setting charges on an
That's
asteroid
it. Yeah, I
blow
like
stuff
it.
up. So yeah, that's sort of an aspect that I don't know. I really tried to, in some of the art, really explore some of the things people do in space. What jobs. What
Yeah, the mundane.
things you're actually doing. Yeah, the mundane things that you're going to do. I mean, and while this is mundane, it's a fairly mundane scene. You can see all kinds of possibilities, right?
Oh yeah.
And it may not. I mean, in your own head, that might not be a charge for mining. It could be, setting a trap for, another ship that's going to come down.
Or a ship. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
No, absolutely. That's great. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm immediately thinking of like, oh no, the frost is thawing because the sun's coming up and we got to run to the ship before like there's just all kinds of fun stuff that can happen.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Love it. All right, let's flip to the next. I love these moments.
Oh, this is actually the one I was talking about where she has her boots off.
There we go. So
think this
her
is
lights
the
are on.
one. No, it's not. This must not be the. Oh yeah, you can just barely see.
Just barely see the lights.
The little red light on the heel. And
I love
that
that.
was the one thing I had to have. I wanted to have added.
That's great. That's super fun to know. So you're just like, hey, we got to have those on. They got to be activated and glued to the floor.
Yeah, because if the ship suddenly maneuvers, those boots are going to go flying.
Would you explain how this very artful hair going on, right?
Well, I realize this one, I realize I actually spoke about it incorrectly. This actually isn't supposed to be in microgravity. This is actually supposed to be. This is supposed to be on thrust, but nonetheless, you don't leave anything lying around. On a ship, because again, if you maneuver hard, those boots would just go flying and kill someone.
And you can imagine that those chess pieces are magnetized.
They're magnetic. Yeah, that
yeah,
was my thought. Is they're magnetized.
Yeah. That's because at any point in time you can have a hard jolt to the pick a direction and everybody goes flying in that direction. Let's see. Oh yeah, I like that too. Michael says it's a bunch of sonogram scanners figuring out what the rock is made of. Then they find out
could be that too. Yeah, those could absolutely. Yeah, I mean, my thought was mine. They were mining, and those are explosives. But yeah, they could be whatever. And I think that was kind of the neat part of that piece is that different people, I'm sure, will see it in different ways.
Yeah, absolutely, which is perfect. Which I love that, and I think too these moments, this sort of just a day. It's maybe they've worked all day and they're off shift or not responsible for watching a thing. Now it's time to just entertain themselves, and it's just really interesting to kind of even see the detail when you look at there's some hydroponics in the back. You kind of grab your salad off the wall and playing some
something I specifically had in
I love that
description.
Hey Shadowcat, see you, friend.
The sippy cups are a big one. That's the thing I always have to look for because you don't want to be using a mug in space because again, a lot of the time you're on the float and your liquid is just going to float out. So they talk about it in the books all the time that they have these little sippy bags basically, and so I'm always looking for that.
Yeah, I dig that a
than
lot. A
anything.
lot. I'm trying to see if there's other things to. Of course, they got the ships read out sort of all the things that are going on and that thing.
Yeah, this
And
one has a lot of detail. I was
it
very happy
really
with it.
does. I mean, I'm envisioning some sort of refrigeration or something here, or heating,
Yeah,
or
cryogenics or
yeah, for
I
for
think these are
whatever they got.
microwaves right next to it there.
Yeah, yeah. Love it. Absolutely love it. And then they're just hanging out playing chess. So again, it's the
Mhm.
mundane, but it's in such a fantastic space that you just, can't help but get swept up by it. Okay, let's move to the next. Hey, what's going on here?
Again, just this is another one where I just wanted to show what life is like on a ship,
Yeah,
and this is just a guy in his bed reading, but
yeah.
that is what, if you're on a long haul cruise, you're that, you're just going to be spending a lot of time lying in bed reading or, checking the valves or whatever. But so yeah, it's a pretty simple piece, but just sort of, he's strapped in.
You
So
gotta
that,
be
if he lets
right.
it, yep,
Yeah.
if they're on the float or not, you want to be strapped in. Uh, and that's,
I
yeah,
was almost struck by, I thought maybe it was a medical thing, but no, I guess it's, yeah, you gotta, when you're, taking a
he's
nap
just,
or, doing some like, real sleep,
yep,
you can't be loose. You'll be
right.
flying all over the
No,
place.
you'll float around.
I like that. That's great. Here's a quick question. Oh, interesting. As an aside for our more Mumamo-centric viewers, could the contents of the new edition be suitable for use in a Starhaven-based game? And if so, how much
No
work?
idea because I don't know Starhaven well.
Yeah, I will tell you, we'll bring that out. We'll actually talk about this because, the great through line between the Expanse and Mutants and Masterminds is one Steve Kenson.
He was the
So
original developer. So yeah.
yeah, yeah. So we can, so we'll bring that up to Steven to have him sort of share. I would, as all things, that we create being suitable for bundling and sharing them across TTRPGs around the world. I bet the answer will be yes, and he'll have some things to share about that. I think that's a great question. And we'll preserve it for Monday.
I
But
can give a little bit of an answer to that,
yeah,
at least on my side of it, considering the
yes,
Expanse
please.
and using any other system with it if you really wanted to. I mean, the books are, a significant chunk of the books are setting material. It's
Yes.
not even rules. So all of that stuff, if you're running Expanse game, but you really just don't want to transfer to Age, which I have no idea why you would want to not want to do that, because I think it's a better system than most. But of course I'm biased. But
Right,
I
right.
would say that before I was working for Green Ronin. I would say that. So anyway, yeah, they're certainly worthwhile. I would say if you're wanting to run an Expanse game and even if you want to use a different system or something, not the end of the world.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe just the beginning.
Or just the beginning.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's see what's up next. Have a good sleep. Okay, now what's going on here? I was very curious as to the story here. It's
That
pretty
is New York, or I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. Go for it.
Okay, that's New York, and that one's not complete. I don't think. I think that's still in the middle. I'm not sure, but anyway, but it's New York or any of the other cities really. After the asteroid strike, and New York got flooded. So
yeah,
it's meant to be sort of generic in that sense, but it's any of the cities, any city that got heavily impacted or flooded after the asteroid strikes.
Hey, yeah, do me a favor. I am having either a deja vu or didn't you run an adventure for us where we were? Yes. Okay. That's
That
right.
was the winner of the the one page.
That's right. The game, the Adventure Jam, our friends over at.
So that could be a scene very much from that adventure. Well, after the waves hit, but yeah.
Yeah. So this is basically people kind of putting it back together, sort of,
scrounging for whatever they can find.
Anything's useful. And yeah.
Yep.
Excellent. Okay. So let's clip on to the next. Okay. This one I stared at for a while. I didn't know what the heck was going on here.
That's Eyeless, Nutra. It's the colonist compound on Eyeless Nutra.
Got it.
What
What is
I mean,
this?
we took some that those are builder ruins.
Okay, got you.
Alien, the
Love it.
creators of the gates. They this is probably a little further on, after Holden such with it, and we took a little bit of artistic liberty, and I don't believe the builder ruins were that they were like way far away, further away than that even, but I wanted to show them in with
You
it,
wanted to have them in there. Yeah.
so it's a little bit of artistic license.
Definitely. But it evokes a feel, doesn't it? It's really something. That's very interesting. And I like how the settlement just kind of looks like people just kept sort of building on it and tacking other pieces on and doing the whole thing.
All the modular pieces.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. I like that a lot. Okay. So ooh.
Oh God! Don't ask me what class that is. I don't remember. Oh, it's colony ship. That's
it's
not a class. Yeah. It's just a colony ship. Yeah. I mean, I don't have much to say on that other than it's meant to be a colony ship, sort of a generic colony ship.
I think a lot about these ships because when we're talking how big they are. Are they like 3 times the size of a skyscraper, or are they on par? What's the story?
On par. I mean, a colony ship, I think, is like this one's meant to be some hundreds of meters long. So I don't know how tall is an average office building.
I don't know. I will say
I'm sure the internet could tell me. Yeah, I mean, I mean, they're like, they're basically the size of mid-sized skyscrapers.
Yeah. So. And then if I'm inside, which side is down?
Where the thrusters are.
Okay, gotcha. So
and it's just imagine if you turn it upright and it's an office building.
That's kind of how I've been envisioning it. That's very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like office buildings with thrusters on the bottom.
Right. Yeah, and I really picked up on that when the miniatures came through.
Right.
And I was like, oh, you really do see kind of that's how they look. But, as you orient yourself in space, it blew my mind for a minute. And then I thought, oh, no, you're just standing on deck. And,
right.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And I mean, because you don't have an up or down per se, but and the Expanse doesn't have artificial gravity. There's no artificial gravity in the Expanse. So, you do get gravity when you're under thrust,
right?
So that's what gives you. So I mean, you could think of it moving up sort of all the time, even though it's moving in any direction. But
but that's the force,
it's pushing you down onto the floor. And giving artificial gravity.
Yeah, you see gravity, artificial gravity kind of shown. There's sort of the magic artificial gravity in some places, or there's that spinning ring where you're kind of walking along the edges, and then you've got this thrusters that are keeping your feet on deck.
Yeah, but there's no artificial gravity in the Expanse. I mean, you have mag boots, but those are actually magnetic, sticking to the floor.
That's right. Yeah,
which we could do today.
Right. I do that in my home. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. I don't know. I'm I'm just a mist. Okay, what's this? This is the Void City.
Yeah, that's a void ship coming through the gate again, with just an escort of little ships.
Yeah. Okay. So Michael and Chet says an average ocean cruise ship is about 1,000 feet long and 200 feet wide. Yeah.
Yep. So there you go.
and I forget how massive these cruise ships are. Here in Seattle, they'll come right up, in Puget Sound, they'll kind of dock and, release people for their Seattle visit or, whatever. Yeah. And they're massive. It's just incredible how huge they are. Matthew, I'm imagining there's some fun to be had. Matthew Tyler mentions that albeit a very weak gravity when under thrust, there's always the fun. Oh, I've not been, out in space before, or people who have spent most of their time on a planet.
Well, the weak gravity, it depends on how fast you're going. I mean, if you can go fast enough that you'll have full G, a full G gravity. Expand ships generally don't, because often you have belters on board, and a full G is not going to be comfortable, and they have some hand wavy fuel.
Yeah, right.
Cheap, I don't know.
Yeah, but it works.
But they usually go at about a third G, so about a third are gravity, about equivalent to Mars. So the Martians are probably the most happy with it.
Well, then
the Doniger is 475 meters long.
Oh, okay.
So that's almost half a kilometer.
Yeah.
It's pretty big.
And then the other thing too, though, is they do have to stop at some point, and so
you flip.
Yeah.
And
That's right.
and you flip, and when you're burning, even when you're flipped, you get gravity too, because you're burning.
That's right.
You're technically pushing back in the other direction, even though you're slowing down. You're going one way, but you're slowing down from that direction, and that's giving you gravity. I don't know.
I do like this. We've got an invite from our friends, Space Coast Adventures Guild. You guys should come visit Florida and see Kennedy Space Center to see the shuttles. Cape Canaveral is also close by with all the big cruise ships. Yeah,
I've always wanted to go, and I never have for some
Me
reason.
too. Yeah. It's
even I lived in Atlanta for so long, and I never made it down there.
Atlanta. Okay.
Atlanta.
Let's see. I'm still laughing at Michael. I'm not going to get into it on stream, but it's pretty funny. Hey, look at these handsome people.
Here are a lot of our, iconic characters from the novels. Fred Johnson.
Oops, I went.
And I did not specify how old each of them are supposed to be for each of them and such.
Yeah.
They could be from different times, throughout the novels. Winston Duarte, when he's still on Mars and, officer on Mars. That is, who is that? That is Clarissa. I think that's Clarissa Mao.
Clarissa knows it all.
Yes.
Who's this? We know who that is.
Oh, I don't know. Who is it? Can anybody guess?
Can anybody guess who that is?
Who does that look like? All right. It's Avasarala.
Yeah. And then who's that?
That is our generic every man.
Just
Holden.
a guy.
James Holden.
James Holden's got his new haircut, and he's good to go.
Can you all tell who that is?
I think so, but who is it?
That's Amos.
Yeah, I thought so.
And that's more book accurate Amos. And and he's wearing the Tachi jumpsuit. Which
right.
In the novels he did for quite a while.
I bet you it was very difficult to not bring in more of the actor from the show just because he's so phenomenal. But we're the books, so yeah.
Right, and he's got the sort of red, the thinning reddish hair, and it's book accurate. I mean, he looks a little bit like West Chad.
A little bit, yeah.
And that is I'm getting my people confused here. Who's the other one? I'm not sure who that is. Call me stupid.
There's a lot of things to know, my friend.
Yes, there is. That's Alex. This is not the final version because I'm still trying to get him to be a little slimmer and a little softer.
Okay, yeah.
Not because he's a pilot and shouldn't be quite as
as worn.
Or just he kind of looks kind of muscular there.
Yeah, so you want him to be just a little more more live.
Yeah, I mean live and soft though. I mean, he spends most of his time sitting in a chair,
Sure. So he might be a little more.
That one's pretty obvious, I think. I hope. One of them was Peach. One of them was Peaches.
Oh, was that the?
That's Clarissa. Yeah. I think
was that Peaches
or is that? I'm trying to remember. I've got two of them, and I got them confused who they are. So
and then we've got. And who's this?
That's Bobbie.
Yeah. And then we've got Princess Amidala.
No, that is Jesus. It's been so long since I've looked at some of these. I'm not remembering who they are, because I'm dumb.
You're fine.
I know, but let's skip to another one, and I'll go back to
absolutely. But yeah, I'm with you on that. We've got some fans of Bobbie. Fans of Pacific Islander
Yeah,
representation.
no, we don't have Julie. Hang on, let me just see if I can.
And then so we have there. So this one's Princess Amidala, and then we have
Yes, Princess Amidala, and then we have and that of course is Naomi.
Yeah.
And I was very happy he did like unlike some of the past Naomi, he noticed the longer neck and the sort of overhead shape.
Yeah.
Which we tried to bring. I didn't even get overboard with it, but
yeah, no, it looks great. It was so and it is subtle, but it is there. You can certainly see it.
Yeah.
I dig that quite a bit. Yeah, a handsome crew. A little definitely different than the style, art style is more painterly and it has a portrait-y kind of look.
Yeah, I really like the
David, you cork it, buddy. They will go on the lab. This is just raw art.
And a lot. These aren't the finals, actually. I don't.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, they're not the finals. Looks very Zoe, says David. If that helps at all. Yeah, I love it. It looks great. And so yeah, so you are getting an early look at some of this stuff, friends. And there's more art to come. How much of the book has arted?
That's a good question. How can I answer that a lot better than me? But I think most of it at this point.
Are we looking like 80, 75,
I'd say it's
90?
75,
Okay.
80, 75. Oh, I know. Hang on. Go if you want to go back there to those. I have I know who they were now.
Okay, great.
Except I can't find your. Where am I?
Where am I?
There I am. Okay.
Okay, so we had a question about.
Right. I'm just trying to remember who's who.
Right.
And that one I think is actually our drummer, community drummer.
Got it. And then
the other one was Clarissa Mao.
Okay, gotcha. So yeah, so we've got her. We all know who she is, and then we knew who that is. So mystery solved. Who are we?
Yeah, I think so. Why am I not seeing this? Thought I had it, but I don't.
That's okay.
Oh,
that's all right.
James Clarissa Mao, Kamina, Bobbie, Naomi, Avasarella. Yep. Kamina, and we have Kamina, Clarissa Mao. I'm not sure who the other one is.
That's right.
We'll have to figure this out.
You know what? When it's in the book, it'll be real clear.
It'll be real obvious because they'll be right next to their stuff.
They'll be right next to their name even. And but this is just we're just taking a look, and we combined them because it was easier to kind of look at them this way. Then
that's what screwed me up.
Yeah. Right. But okay, great. Well, so Ian, here's my problem. This is the problem I have.
Okay.
We do Thursday every Thursday, and I always think, oh boy, we have enough to talk about. Without fail, every single Thursday, right as we get going, right as we start to get the hum of the creativity, we start to talk, the chat's getting, kind of giving us the witty or repartee, as it were, and then it's time to go.
Yep.
We got to stop because it is that time. It is pretty near the end of this Thursday, and that's before you go. Ian, I do what I call office hours, and it's an event that we do. It's scheduled in the tank, the Atomic Think Tank, which you can join, friends. You can go to atomicthinktank.com, and you answer 3 questions, and then abracadabra, you are part of a vibrant community that spans all of Green Ronin's titles. And you get to hang out with me tonight at 4 p.m. Pacific for Get Tanked with Troy.
Get Tanked with Troy.
So basically what we do is we hang out in a Zoom call, and I don't know, I call it office hours. I don't know how much officely work gets done, but there's a lot going on. and it's a lot of fun. It really is. Last couple meetings, we've been having discussions around volunteering and moderation and opportunities for people who are streamers and all kinds of really great stuff. That's where the magic happens. So if you want to join, get into the tank at atomicthinktank.com. Head over to the events. You will see Get Tanked with Troy. Grab a beer, grab a soft drink, just grab whatever you got and click on that Zoom meeting and join in. You don't have to have your camera on if you don't want. You don't even have to participate. You can just sit and listen to the madness of which there's plenty. But it's also a great opportunity if you've got something on your mind that you want to just bring up. Maybe you're like, oh yeah, Troy has office hours, so I'm going to stop by so I can have a quick private conversation with him. Absolutely can. And I know this is Stan, you're the best. Teeing it up. What? I don't have to pay any money for this valuable experience? No, you do not. It is free. It does require an investment of your time, an investment of your energy to join up and be a part of our growing community, which is well on its way to the multiple thousands. I'm really excited about it. So yeah, and then coming soon, an Ian.
Yeah, and I got this. I solved the mystery. Upper right, Michio Pa.
I was going to say Michio Pa, but
it's Michio Pa. I don't know why I just blanked on that. And then left across from Bobbie is Clarissa Mao, and then lower left across from that's Michio Pa.
And then we've got
I recognize from the damn cover.
Right, yeah.
And that's Clarissa Mao.
Clarissa Mao, okay. And then
the one down below. That's why she looks like Julie, because she looks like Julie. And that is our drummer.
Got you. Okay, there you go. Excellent. Not Princess Amidala or Queen.
Not Princess Amidala. I mean, I guess it does look. She could be one of her doubles, I guess.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So we've got Stan. You know what? The Atomic Think Tank is award worthy. Another award worthy endeavor from Green Ronin Publishing. And hey, in addition, listen, all of you friends, you're hanging out. Maybe you're hanging out over on Moonbeam, perhaps, or perhaps you're hanging out on Twitch or YouTube, or you are one of the old school folks who are going to just keeping it real Facebooky over there. You're watching us over there on Facebook Live. Do me a favor. Like the stream. Just give it a thumbs up, or maybe it's a heart, maybe it's a star. I don't know, whatever it is you got over there. We want all of it. Give us all your thumbs, and then also do me a favor. In places like YouTube and on Facebook, say something. There's the live chat, but then there's also the sort of chat that's kind of hangs out under the post or what have you, and then share the link with a friend. You know what? Mother's Day just passed, just recently. Father's Day on its way. Send mom and dad, whether it's mom and dad, or it's found mom and dad, or it's just a stranger you'd like to call dad or daddy. Send them this link and say, you must watch this program. You will love it. It's on every Thursday. It's delightful, it's fun, and we live on hearts and thumbs. We really do. And let me see if I forget anything. We talked about office hours. We talked about all kinds of good stuff. Folks might also know that we have it is the end of Modern Age May. Coming up very soon here is June. June is like looming right around the corner, and which is a great month. I love June. You like June, Ian?
I like earlier. I like May actually better. Usually
more of a May.
Well, honestly, I'm up in Pennsylvania now, so June is still good. Down in Georgia, Atlanta, June was already stinking hot. So
yeah, right.
So I'm happy with June up here.
So it's right around the corner, but don't forget. So here's the deal. We've got Modern Age Powers. That is PDF. It's on print pre-order, and if you pre-order it now, you'll get the $5 PDF today because the book is done. It's ready to be. We're we're shipping it off. We're getting our pre-orders in order, and you're going to want to hurry up and do that because I have it on good authority that come June 19th that the pre-orders will close, and thus your $5 PDF with it. So we've got I'm going to send out an email and a reminder to everybody to check on the Modern Age May sales. Some really good bundles that you will love, and just in time for Modern Age Powers, and there's some other good stuff coming that will be a little bit later in the month of June. So Modern Age May, it's not, you can Modern Age in any month you want, frankly. And then I feel like there's something else I'm missing, but I feel like that about covers it all. And there is some questions here real quick. One of the questions, one of the questions is there a date for the PDF and physical release?
Not yet. We will. There will be announcements on that pretty soon. I think. But we were certainly hitting our deadline. Our the release. What we said on crowdfunder, Backerkit.
Right.
So many different metrics. So so we're definitely on target to hit that. I mean, everything is written. A lot of stuff's laid out. A lot of art. So we're definitely on target for that. As for the exact dates, I don't know exactly.
Smart. And the minute that we confirm a date is the minute that a meteor strikes. That
You're right. Exactly.
Tsunami. All kinds of stuff. But here's a quick question. Imagine that. Pennsylvania, like put your hand up in the shape of Pennsylvania.
Me?
Yeah. Like that. Where on the Pennsylvania hand do you are you at? Right there. Okay. Yeah. So there you go.
Known as South Central PA.
Yeah, gotcha.
Not the other burg, not the burg.
That's right. Yeah, Duke. Yeah, this is my favorite part of June is that it is. We're not doing Pride anymore. We're doing Wrath. It's pure gay wrath. But fun. Okay. Hey, Ian, my friend, it is always a delight to hang out with you. You got all the answers on some of the coolest stuff that we're making right now. I'm so excited about it and really looking forward to more people getting their eyeballs on Transport Unit Edition and seeing all the things that come up of it. And, so far it's just been really, it's been delightful, I think.
I we should go before I get into a fight with Michael in chat. So,
all righty, let's do it.
You live in Pennsylvania, dude. Close. Actually, Mechanicsburg is very close.
We have narrowly skirted many disasters, like the pineapple and pizza debacle, and the
Yes. And now we're fighting about which side of Pennsylvania, and the western side is Pennsylvania. So
that's right. Hey, gather around, if you will, and feast your eyes on the June calendar of joy. We got all kinds of stuff happening, so be sure to, join us in the tank, and you will never miss one of these fun dates. Also tonight, 4 p.m. Pacific, get tanked with Troy. Again, thanks to our buddy Ian for hanging out with us. He's such a cool dude. Bye, my friend. And for the rest of you, have a great rest of your week and a phenomenal weekend. And we'll see you Monday for Mutants Masterminds Monday. Goodbye.
Bye.